Today, I'm fixing up this Prusa Mini, and this video is sponsored by Prusa Research. This printer was bound for the trash after I presumed that someone had accidentally drop tested it at my university. But I didn't want to see it go to waste, so I reached out to Prusa Research to see if they'd send me the parts that I need to fix it, and they said yes. So today I'll be showing you exactly how easy it is to fix these printers given their guides and the modularity of these machines. So hopefully you'll get an idea of how to fix one yourself. One of my first steps was to reassemble the Z-axis assembly. I had to replace the housing for the motherboard and the Z-axis rods, which Prusa makes really easy, since they publish all the printer's 3D printable parts online. Next, I replaced this metal part right here, which is absolutely not supposed to be bent, because it was necessary to connect the Z-axis to the rest of the printer. Then I reinserted the motherboard into that little housing and screwed it in to make sure that it didn't shift around too much during printing. After making sure that the motherboard was nice and secure inside of that little housing, I reinserted the Z-axis into those little holes and made sure that everything was nice and snug before sliding it into the rest of the printer. After making sure that it was all screwed in, I was pretty relieved to see that nothing else was bent, so I could keep moving on and installing other parts. Plugging in all the necessary power components, it was time to see if this printer would come back to life.
And the moment of truth. It's alive!
Now it was time to tackle the issues with the hot end, which I wasn't fully aware of until I started taking it apart. After dusting off the hot end and putting the bed on the magnetic plate so that no debris fell on it while I was working on it, I decided that it was time to replace the thermistor and the fan, which if you heard earlier did not sound very good. Working on the hot end really is pretty easy. All you have to do is unscrew the components, remove them from the sheath, and if you need to, unclip the sheath from the side of the printer. After replacing the fan, I had to look up instructions for how to disassemble the hot end correctly. Last time that I had built a Prusa Mini, this part was already assembled. But again, Prusa makes this really easy to work on and had a really great step-by-step guide on how to accomplish this. All I had left to do was to put in the new thermistor, reinsert the old heater, and put some thermal grease on the hot end before inserting it back into the printer and screwing everything back in. Putting together Prusa's new injection molded spool holder was a total breeze. Then I ran some of the calibration tests that were needed to make sure that this printer was working great, and I was really happy to see that they all passed. After purging some filament, I was finally able to print a benchy and it turned out great. Only problem is, after doing all of this, I discovered that the bed was also bent out of shape from that drop. But Prusa's going to send me that part and I'll have it replaced pretty soon. Thanks again to Prusa Research for sponsoring this video. Part 2 will be up when I finish fixing that bed, and as always, let me know what you guys think.